Welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here. I'm like real time troubleshooting potential issue in my bathroom. Um, it could potentially just be condensation on the water tank, um, but my toilet might be leaking, so it's pretty fucking sick. Um, I just texted Nick. Shout out to Nick.
Where's it leaking? Where's it leaking from?
I couldn't really tell, so I'll get into that. But I just texted Nick, um, and was like, "Hey, do you know any plumbers in the area? Like, do you have a guy?" And he was like, "No, I've been lucky enough to not need one." So I was like, "All right." So then I texted my soon-to-be brother-in-law, Dan, who's way more fucking handy than I am. He went to tech school, um, and also has friends that are like in trades, right? Whether they're like electricians or plumbers. One of his buddies works for like a tree company or some whatever. So um we're like trying to figure out right now. I think there's a chance it's condensation. So there was a puddle of water around the base of the porcelain on the floor. So where the porcelain meets the tile, all around the edges was water. There was also some water. I have a stainless steel. Um, I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. A water line, that goes from the tank through the floor. And there was some water around the base of that too. So I don't know. I'm looking at it like I said I took a picture of it and I sent it to Dan. Um, and he was like, it's probably just condensation, because it's really fucking hot out, and we have the AC going upstairs on the second floor, but I shut the doors to all the rooms, so that obviously the AC is way more fucking efficient. So like the room I'm in right now is hot as balls. Luckily the ceiling fan is on as high as it can go, but it's pretty warm. The bathroom is hot as fuck, especially because it's on the back side of the house, which gets all of the sun. So, with the door shut and the sun coming through that window, it's real fucking hot in there. So, I think it could potentially just be condensation. Like I said, I just wiped up the floor. Um, so we'll see. I don't know.
Well, so a couple things. When you finish with this and you go back, and if it's the same amount of water, it's probably not condensation. It was like a puddle, like a real puddle.
Like a small puddle. Like enough water, like if you were wearing socks and you stepped in it, you'd be like, fuck, I gotta take my socks off and change.
Yeah, you might need an actual man.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. Um I gotta go back and check the tank. In the picture, Dan just texted me and was like, he can tell from the picture that, oh yeah, actually I can see it. Um there is actually a lot of condensation on the tank itself. So I'd say there's a strong possibility that it's just condensation from the tank that's just kind of coming down. Um, like I said, it's pretty fucking hot in there. So, and obviously the water is cold that's in the tank. So we'll see. Yeah, because he was like, wipe up the floor and flush the toilet a couple times. He says if nothing comes out like immediately, you should be okay. It should just be condensation.
Either way, so annoying. But if you needed to replace a toilet, it's
it,
not the craziest thing in the world.
it's relatively straightforward. It's like a couple bolts, you pull the thing off, you replace
Yeah,
the wax ring.
yeah.
Because I looked at it, we were going to do it in Mansfield, so I watched a couple YouTube videos, and I remember the bolts on the back, disconnecting the tank, the wax seal that goes underneath,
Yeah.
and then You just reverse it
Yeah,
to
usually you
install.
get like some shitty rags or shitty clothes to stuff in the pipe.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I haven't actually done it, but I have a solid idea of how to do
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't look too bad.
So I don't know. It was literally like one of those. I just went to go take a piss right before we started recording. And I was like, this could potentially be a problem. There's a puddle in here. So like I said, I'll keep an eye on it. But that's the downside of not really being from around here, right? Is that I don't have like guys for stuff, right? I know that sounds really fucking stupid, but like you need guys for stuff, right? Like that's a thing. Um Obviously growing up in Medford that's not close to here, like for work purposes, right? Like Medford to here is actually it's close. Like it's not that far. It's probably 45 fucking miles. Like that's not that far. Um, but I can't ask someone from Medford that we grew up with to come all the way down here. That's a way that's insane. So that's the thing. Is like we I know plenty of electricians and plumbers and HVAC got techs, but they all live north of Boston, which doesn't do me any good.
Know where you can probably find them right now? North Attleboro Elks.
I gotta go. I gotta start hanging out at the Elks more often. I guarantee you that's where they are.
Yeah, man. If you want to fucking find tradespeople and like, we put like guys with trade skills in the category of actual man.
Yeah.
If you're looking for an actual man, that's where you're gonna find them. You might have to just give them a ride both ways, but
Yeah. Yeah, that and Halligan. So the Halligan's is it's like a towny bar and it's owned by a retired firefighter. Um I think that's probably where I would find a lot of actual men to help me out with my problems. I feel like firefighters are always good to know too, right? Because firefighters know everybody, and their work schedules are always the way that they typically also work another job, right? Like
I don't know if that's as true anymore, but yes, that used to be like the old thought.
well, I used to work with a guy. I used to work. I think there was two guys that were firefighters, and then on their off days they were personal trainers. So like I don't
Yeah,
necessarily know if like there's a firefighter and on his off day he's a fucking electrician, right? Like that's probably not the case because
that used to be like so
yeah,
that used to be the deal. Like our parents' age people, they would generally work what, 2 24 hours?
uh, yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what it used to be?
yep.
Yeah, so they would
24. It
work.
was 24 on, 48 off.
Yeah, so they would then do like a trade or
Yeah,
freelance or side work, like something that they could be flexible with. So it's like they didn't like you couldn't work like a fucking you couldn't be like a fucking software engineer. Like
yeah. You're not gonna go work for Dell
no,
EMC.
because then it's like, oh well, it's 24 on, 48 off, or at least that's what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you could just work you like, oh, I'll work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at one place and I'll work Monday, Wednesday at the other place. Like that doesn't work.
Right, right.
Um but yeah, that used to be the idea. It's like, oh, all firefighters are they all do something else on the side. It's like whether they get paid more now or just people don't do that, it seems to be a lot less common now.
I think a lot of places or towns switch to 12-hour shifts instead of 24s. So obviously you're
Kind
working
of
more
ridiculous.
frequently.
It's kind of ridiculous that like
Yeah.
ask a firefighter. So because there's a couple things here. this isn't to diminish what they do in any way, shape, or form, but to ask them to work 24 hours, you are literally building in sleep into their payday.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
it's
know.
like you're paying them to sleep at the firehouse.
Yes.
So not only do they not get to sleep at home when they might live fucking 6 minutes away,
Yep.
they got to sleep at the firehouse. Then you're paying somebody to be the fucking firehouse chef, which you probably still are. But like some of those guys could fucking cook. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So like all part of the job because they used to work 24-hour shifts. You were paying them to sleep at the firehouse. You were
Yep.
paying them to go to Stop and Shop to buy food for the dinner. You're paying someone to
In the
cook,
truck
like,
too, which I always thought was absolutely
yeah.
amazing. They all pile into
Well,
the
they're on
fucking engine
duty.
truck. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
So
on
God
duty.
forbid something
They need
happens,
the truck.
they gotta drop everything, drop all the groceries in aisle 7 and run out to the fucking truck and go put out
Yeah.
a fire or save a cat in a tree, whatever they're doing.
And then if it's like if you really think about it, does it have to be that way?
No,
Probably not.
probably not.
Could they just work regular 12-hour shifts?
Yeah.
And then if that's the case, it's like, okay, so like if you work 4 12s instead, well, now it's a lot harder to do something on the side.
Right.
Unless, you're a, 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then like you just like don't need sleep and then you go do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you get home by 3:17 and you sleep till 9.
Yeah.
Then you can go work. Like, I don't know. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
412s definitely throws a wrench in.
Yeah, if nothing else, firefighters know a shitload. They know everybody.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too, right? Because they just know everybody.
They know everyone. So, or truthfully, anyone that works in the town for the town, they all know everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and everyone loves firefighters, right? Like that's always the shtick. Like people love firefighters, and people always shit on cops.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're no teachers, but
well, yeah, I mean, teachers are the real heroes. Come on, let's we don't even put them in the same breath.
Right.
It's teachers and then everybody else.
Yeah, it's teachers, then everybody else, and firefighters are at the top of everybody else. But there's a very, very, very steep drop off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Before you get anything.
Yeah, we're talking like Grand Canyon size cliff here.
Yeah. Yeah, that is funny. Everyone hates. Yeah, you know what? Well, dude, it's nature of it. Because
the only time you interact with a cop
most of the time
is you're doing something bad.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most of the time, if you interact with a firefighter, you require their help.
Right. Yeah. Most of the time, a cop's not going to pull you over and then just shoot the shit. Be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, unless it's one of your friends, right? Like, if you have a buddy that's a cop who happens to like run your plate and like pulls you over and then just starts talking to you, like, okay, like that's fine. But I mean, typically, yeah, it's the nature of the beast, right? Like if you're interacting with a cop, most likely you done fucked up.
Yeah, and then speaking in generalities, I know your family is cops, but generally cops are fucking dickheads for no reason.
Yeah, no, I can speak to that.
Like generally they are. Now, Are they all? No.
No.
Do you know someone that's probably fine? Sure.
Yeah.
Well, even like one of the cops that I know well. I like him. I think he's a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
But getting pulled over him has to fucking suck. It's got to be fucking a bottom 5 experience. So, yeah, it's just tougher. And it's like, so my mother told me this story. So this was like a couple weeks ago. So she went to the ATM in Medford. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but the ATM in Easton, you don't need to use your card to get in. This is at the branch.
Mm-hmm.
So the door's just open. I don't know.
Yeah, the outside door, right?
Yep.
Well, also the inside door too, then.
Not
right.
No, this is off hours.
Okay.
So Medford, obviously, it's the city. Like you're worried about like homeless people or some shit, people shooting up, whatever the fuck people are gonna do in there.
Yeah.
So it's still locked. So mother goes in, uses her card. Another guy comes in, just hanging in the back, whatever. She goes to get out, and the little thingy like won't release. Again, it's off hours. And so thinking about it, you're stuck in the ATM door. What are you thinking? Like, hopefully somebody else comes up here.
Yeah.
So car pulls up, person's just sitting there, doesn't really come in. So my mother just calls police non-emergency line.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, no, hey, stuck in the ATM, whatever. And guy comes, and so this is the funniest thing. He comes, pulls out his own credit card, and doesn't stick it in the door. He throws it in the lock to like how you would break in somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I go, why wouldn't you just put it in the like the little reader?
Yeah.
And then I guess like, listen, you don't have to like, is that a shit call? Kinda.
Yeah.
You don't have to be thrilled about it.
No.
But do you
No.
have to? But like, I guess he was like, "Oh, you're lucky we weren't busy." She's like, "How is this how is that my fucking fault?"
Yeah.
She
Exactly.
doesn't say any of this shit. She's talking to me, but like, why am I lucky that you guys weren't busy? Like, I called. They said that you'd come.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I dialed the whatever, like what is it?
Yeah.
321-9000
I don't know.
is the I think that's the
whatever.
The Medford,
but it's like
the front desk at
but
MPD.
it's and that's the other thing too. If it's that inconveniencing, wouldn't it just be a lot easier to just to say, have a good one and leave?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a lot easier?
Yeah. Just don't even fucking interact with me. Right. Just be like, yeah, all right, you're all set. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Get back in your car and go back to watching YouTube videos. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Whatever. But firefighter pulls up. How do you think that interaction goes?
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
No, it's either it's like, oh, thanks for letting me out. Yeah, I don't know how you got into this situation.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a nature of the beast as well, right? Because the other part of that is like cops constantly have to deal with shitbags, right? Like a cop, again, it's the same thing that works for us, works for them. Like when we interact with a cop, it's typically because we fucked up. And when a cop has to interact with someone, most often that someone has done something fucked up, right? So it's like very rarely does the do cops get to just have like fun interactions while they're on the job. Yeah. So you do that long enough and you just become a fucking crotchety old dickhead. Because
yeah, I guess that was actually young,
right? Like
I guess it was also like a young dude. I go, yeah, that's just a guy that's just like, he thinks he's fucking awesome or thinks he's important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're lucky we weren't busy. It's fucking 9 a.m. on a Saturday, or it's pre 9 a.m. No. During the week, pre 9 a.m.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, your mom doesn't look old, but she's what? Like, she's in her 60s, right?
She's 65.
Like, you're going to be a dickhead to a fucking 65-year-old woman who got
like,
stuck
why?
in an ATM. Like, what? Why? Right? Like,
yeah, actually, you know what? She woke up today and thought, you know what would be fun? I'm gonna do my best to get this door stuck shut with a fucking stranger in here.
Right.
Just so I can call the Medford PD and bother them.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I'm gonna stereotype the shit out of this right now, but if it was a 20-something blonde woman, right, you could make the joke like, oh, what a fucking retard, like she doesn't know how to open the door from the, you know what I mean? Like, you can stereotype, you can go down that. If you want to be a dickhead to like, again, a girl in her 20s, right, like, go ahead. But like a 65-year-old woman, dude, like, clearly, like, she's probably tried everything she could to get out of here. And she called the front. She was also like had the wherewithal to call the fucking front desk, right? Like, I would imagine someone in their 20s probably just would have called 911 because they wouldn't have known to just call the front desk.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's like
Chris is sitting here like, you two are fucking idiots.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a message from Chris after this being
fuck
like, dude,
both of you.
You have no idea. he'll probably be like, I actually went on a call just like that once.
Yeah. I wonder why he didn't just use his card to like in the reader.
Yeah, because even so, is it like a Bank of America or a Citizens Bank or
Citizens. The
Citizens?
one on next to the Medford Auto School.
Okay. Oh yeah.
What is that? Spring? No. Riverside? What the fuck is that street? Medford Square, whatever.
Yeah, it's Medford Square. Because even if you don't have a Citizens Bank debit card,
any card opens
any
that.
debit card will let you in.
Anything. Any credit card, debit card, anything. Anything with a fucking stripe and a chip.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird move on his part.
Well, and then my mother's like, "Oh, I thought they would have like some key or something." I go, why?
Yeah.
I go, the door opens with any card.
Yeah.
Any card.
Yeah.
You might be able to stick a Ralph's membership card in there and fucking have it open. I don't know. Like,
as long as it's not like a high school ID.
What did you think? They like the guy's gonna come up, put a fucking suction cup on the glass, and like start spinning the circle so that he can remove the glass and like reach on the inside to like what the fuck?
Yeah. The real question would be, and I know the answer to this, is like, did anyone follow up with the bank to tell them that it was fucked up so they can call a locksmith to actually fix it?
I believe, I think it was the dispatcher.
Okay.
Did say like say what you will. I believe the dispatcher said, "Oh yeah, that does happen sometimes."
So it's not the first time someone had to call.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, Citizens Bank in Medford Square, maybe fix your fucking ATM, right? Like call a locksmith and get them out to fix the fucking
Do
door.
something.
Like it's a pretty easy fix.
Yeah.
Like whoever it is will probably be in and out in about 20 minutes. You'll still pay for 4 hours, but
yeah, but it's Citizens Bank.
Exactly. They have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, we're not talking. Yeah.
So I think they're like the 13th biggest bank in the country now, something like that, which is kind of wild when you think about it. Cause like years ago, they were like, they only existed in like Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And now they're nationwide.
Was it that regionalized?
Yeah. So it may have just been New England.
Because I thought like their corporate address used to be like fucking Pennsylvania or something.
Yeah. So what
was there another company that merged or some shit?
It was reversed. So they were owned by RBS, which is the Royal Bank of Scotland. So like back in the day, it was Citizens RBS. So it was like they were a super small bank, and then they got bought by RBS. And then like 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, they got spun off by RBS. So they cut loose and just became regular Citizens. And then
Citizens Bank NA.
Yeah, Citizens Bank NA. And they obviously they hired a new CEO, and like that's when like everything just blew up after that. So that's your history of Citizens Bank.
I'm glad. I feel as though we needed that.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got. Hopefully my bathroom's still in one piece right now.
The bathroom's gonna be fine. No, seriously.
It will be.
At worst, you're gonna have some water on the floor right now. And by the time we're done recording, you'll be able to assess the situation and kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
At worst.
Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, let's do this because we might do this more than once this week, because the verdict on the student loan forgiveness is allegedly supposed to come down before the end of the month. So obviously we're recording this on the 25th. This is getting released on the 26th. And we have one more episode to do Friday. This week.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be out by Friday.
So there's some caveats there that we'll get into. So I'll start with the I guess the main point here. So the government, right, Congress and the legislative and the executive branch were going through, remember they were doing with all that budget bullshit. They were like, oh, if we don't get a budget by this time, we're gonna fucking default on everything and all that shit, whatever. um they came to an agreement on a budget. Well, first of all, I think they just basically filed an extension. I think I'm oversimplifying everything here, but I think they filed an extension. And then they finally came to an agreement. And part of the agreement on the budget was that Biden could no longer kick out the payment pause. So now officially, everyone's signatures are on it, right? It passed through Congress and it passed through Biden's desk too, right? So we all know from Schoolhouse Rock, or at least anyone that was millennial and older knows about Schoolhouse Rock, where how a bill becomes a bill, right? It's got to go to the fucking Hill and get signed and all that bullshit, right? It's signed, so we have a budget. We have actual shit ready to go. So we're not going to default on payments here. But part of that, again, was no more student loan pause. It's done. It is 100% done. So it will be back in October. So that was the stipulation. So starting October 1st of 2023, every single person that has student loans will have to start paying them again. So buckle up.
How could they?
I know, right? Fucking dickheads.
Can't believe I have to pay my loans back.
So I found this. Oh, they changed it, those motherfuckers. I thought I could get this on CNBC, but oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. So this is from CNBC. The title is Why the Supreme Court Still Hasn't Decided on Biden's Student Loan Forgiveness. So two separate things, right?
Yeah, so this is the payment pause done, killed.
The payment pause is done. Payments are starting in October, on October 1 of this year. The
So
separate thing.
This is the 10K.
This is the $10,000 for everyone, or $20,000 if you received a Pell Grant. So the Supreme Court is expected to rule by the end of June on President Joe Biden's $400 billion student loan forgiveness plan. Two lawsuits have challenged the legality of the plan, which was not approved by Congress and would be among the most expensive executive actions in U.S. history. So within 2 weeks, the Supreme Court justices should break for their summer recess, which is fucking hilarious, by the way. That the Supreme Court takes 2 months off for summer.
They're working too hard, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, Congress takes the whole month of August off, I think. If not also July and August. But regardless, the government is fucking stupid. So they take their summer recess, which I feel like we've talked about before, but it's the whole reason they do that is because, you know, back when the government was created, the people that were in the government weren't just fucking in the government, right? They were like dentists and butchers and blacksmiths and shit. So like they took the summers off to go home and do their real job. But now people are full-time fucking politicians and they're all cunts. You don't need 2 months. Why the fuck do you need 2 months off? Do your fucking job. Goddamn fucking job. Jesus Christ.
They don't do their job even when they're doing their job.
Yeah, that's true too. So they break for the summer recess. There's still no ruling. For many borrowers, it's been an anxious wait. Yeah, I bet. Oh, this is awesome. Waiting to hear whether or not it will pass is nerve-wracking at best, debilitating at worst, says Rochelle Brooks, 35, a single mother in Los Angeles. We're all staying tied to our phones each week. Obviously, it's someone from California, too. whose monthly student loan payment was as high as $1,200 at one point. So a couple things here. I don't know, maybe look into the fucking income-based repayment plans. Like, why the fuck? And also, how much money are you making that your payment was $1,200 a month? You know what I mean? There's something fishy there. Like, you either make enough money to afford it and you're just bitching, or like you're doing something wrong. Like, you haven't gone through proper channels to make it so you don't have to pay that. Because there's plenty of channels that exist to not have to pay that much a month. So do something about it. Trying to get to the point. Okay, so the justices are considering several thorny issues here. There's no precedent set for the kind of sweeping debt forgiveness that the administration is trying to carry out. However, there is a potential that the two lawsuits that were brought up against it legally don't actually have any standing. So when Biden first did it, they say that they point out the HEROES Act of 2003, which grants the U.S. Secretary of Education the authority to make changes to the federal student loan system during national emergencies, which COVID was. So the justices heard all of the cases, right, or heard the arguments from the plaintiffs back in like February. And what they needed to do in one of them was show that they would be harmed by this policy that Biden is trying to roll out, which they say is typically a requirement to gain the right to sue. And the need to prove so-called legal standing is designed to prevent people from suing against different policies and programs simply because they disagree with them, right? So they need to even figure out if like they're allowed to sue, and it is not looking potentially like they are in a position to do that.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there is no harm. It's
Right.
just not like like there's no direct harm, right? Because obviously there'll be something that occurs. I don't know if like the market will tank or if whatever. But yeah, like someone like me, it's like I could sit here on my soapbox and be like, well, I don't have student loans. Why does everyone else get theirs repaid and I never had them? Like, where's mine?
Right.
I'm not being harmed. I'm just effectively looking for a handout.
Right. Right. So there's two cases here. The first case is from 6 states. So it's Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and South Carolina. They are suing, saying that if you reduce the loans, then the companies in their states that service federal student loans would make less money. So again, I'm oversimplifying everything here, but like that kind of isn't good enough from what I'm reading, right? And what I'm hearing. This isn't like my opinion, because my opinion doesn't mean shit on the matter. I've also been on the record multiple times saying I think it's a bad idea to forgive all the money, but if you're going to give me free money, I will take it. So that's my stance on it. I don't think it should happen, but if it does, I will gladly take your money.
You should give me some of your free money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So the argument there, one is the states are suing, not the companies themselves, right? And part of the argument was the money is in federal student loans. So the federal government is taking the hit. So for these companies to say, I'm going to make less money because the federal government is removing this money, well, that's less money that the federal government is now getting, right? So like in that counter argument that was made, it's like you're not solely at risk of loss because the federal government is taking a $400 billion loss. So like a company that services the loan that happens to be in South Carolina that might lose $7 million over like the course of whatever. Well, the federal government just lost 400 billion. Right. So like that's kind of the argument there.
So
Which again,
I assume those companies will probably try to play like the jobs, revenue, taxes, detrimental to the state and to those like specific spots. I'm sure that I assume that's how the argument would kind of go.
potentially, yeah. I truthfully haven't read any of the
It
actual
doesn't matter.
arguments. Yeah. And then so the second suit, which I think is fucking hilarious, is from two people, like two actual citizens, that said they're suing because they would be excluded from getting the aid. So they wouldn't receive the allocated whatever, either 10,000 or 20,000. So they're suing because of that, which is an absolute fucking joke, if you
Good for
ask
them.
me. Like, because the parameters were pretty clear. If you are, I think it was single making less than 120,000 and married less than 200,000, I forget the exact numbers, but it was like something like that, then you would qualify. Or maybe it was single less than 180, less than 80, married less than 120 or 125. You qualify for this relief. And now people are like, there's people that are being like, well, I wouldn't get the relief. Well, probably because you don't fit the parameters.
So I'll probably spend about 10 grand, if not more.
Yeah. In
fighting
legal
the
fees.
case.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you ask me, the second part of that, the two people that are suing because they didn't get what they wanted, they can fuck right off. It's the real case to me is the 6 states, right? The 6 southern states. And like I said, I haven't read any of the arguments and I don't know law, so I have no fucking clue how they're going to rule. But from articles that I've read and like things on Twitter that I've seen, it seems as if like people think it could potentially go through. There, I would say if I had to do like a meta analysis of like everything that I found on Twitter and online, I would put it at least 51% that it gets passed. I would put it at 51-49.
Is there an economic issue associated with this?
Potentially, yeah. Because now the
that,
federal government loses $400 billion.
That's like the only thing that like it still kind of comes down to for me. Like,
but so that's the thing. And now the Supreme Court, every Supreme Court has their own way that, yeah, they can, go after whatever case and however angles they want, right? But I think legally, right, if they just stick to their job, which is written in the Constitution, or as it's written in the Constitution, they can only rule on whether or not these two lawsuits have any standing. If they rule that these two lawsuits have no standing, then the forgiveness goes through and people get their money.
Oh, so they're not ruling at all whether or not the forgiveness is constitutional or not. They're just hearing the two lawsuits?
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Oh.
So yeah. that's at least how I understand it. But if to my previous point, if the Supreme Court, if the 9 judges get together and they're like, listen, technically we have to throw these 2 cases out, but if we do that, we could be throwing the economy into a fucking downward spiral. So what can we do to find anything anywhere to make some sort of case to hold this up and block it, right? They could do that, right? Like that. It's very well within the possibility that they do something like that. It's a little bit outside of their constitutional job description. Again, as far as I know, there could be something in the job description that says needs to uphold fucking the country of some sort, right? And they could use it. They could argue if we allow this, we would not be upholding the safety of the country, right? Because or the economic security.
There's got to be something that's like, because obviously in a simplified sense, they determine if things are constitutional or not. But like when you actually like read the fine print, there has to be more. Like if the president really wants to do something that's super detrimental to the company, to the country, but isn't unconstitutional, they have to be able to step in and do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so.
Conduct detrimental to the country.
Yeah.
It's like the NFL.
Yeah. It's a 6-week suspension.
Imagine that. Imagine just like suspending Congress. Yeah, you got a week off.
Yeah, unpaid. And you got to pay a fine.
I would love that. Maybe that's how we fix politics. Treat it like
the NFL.
No, I was gonna say treat it like a junior hockey team.
Oh,
where every Monday you have to come in and meet in kangaroo court and pay your fines. Like, hey man, you were late. Like that's $5.
Yeah.
And hey, like you fucking swore at that official and got a penalty and it fucking cost us the game. Like that's $10. That's the max. Only like, I know they only make like $100K a year or whatever, but they're worth like millions. So it's like just fucking up it.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I like that idea. And we'll see potentially this week. So there was another part of that article that said that the Supreme Court, if they don't rule on it, they may extend their session into July.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, we can't ask them to do that.
God forbid. God forbid they only take a 7-week vacation.
Work in July? I would never ask the fucking Supreme Court to work in July.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Don't you know how hot it is in DC in July? We can't be at work. It's not like our buildings have air conditioning. Is it a cicada year?
Is it a cicada year? That would be a bad thing too.
Yeah, I think it might be actually.
Is it really? Don't they only come like every fucking 27 years or some shit?
Well, there's different kinds. There's like the 17-year super duper fucking mega cicada, and then there's like the 7-year cicada or the 4-year cicada.
See,
like,
I feel like the 2 times I've been to DC, it's been like a rare fucking cicada sighting. The only problem is they were only like 5 years apart.
Yeah. No, I think that's the thing. It's like, because there's different kinds of cicadas. So like one of them is on a 7-year path. One of them's on like a 17 or 23-year path or something. And then I think there's another one that's like a 2 or a 3. There's a bunch of different kinds.
And why do they only go to DC?
Because it's a fucking shithole. Brood X. That's what it's called. The Great Eastern Brood is. Oh, you ready for this?
Like Gangrel, Edge, and Christian Brood?
Yeah, the Brood. Yeah. Is one of 15 broods of periodical cicadas that appear regularly through the eastern U.S.
I'm sorry,
so
how
there's
many?
15. I thought there was 3. Hey, I'm sitting here like, yeah, there's a 23-year, a 7-year, and a 4-year, like whiskey. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking bourbon. There's 15.
It's literally more rare that you don't see a certain cicada in a given year than it is that you do. Like if you went to DC and it wasn't like a cicada year, that would be more remarkable.
Yeah.
Than whatever cicada is actually there that year. Because there's 15 of them.
Yep.
And again, if we just make up numbers, if one's a 17, but there are some 7s and some 5s and maybe some not, like whatever.
Brood X is the 17-year because it was in 2021 and its next major emergence is predicted to be 2038.
So for a year to have no cicada, when there are 15, that's more impressive than any cicada sighting ever.
Yeah.
Even if it is the gangrel cicada.
Yeah, 15 different kinds. There's a 13 year.
This is literally fucking bourbon.
Yeah, there's a 17 year. This is great. I'm just like thumbing through the Wikipedia page right now.
I guess you were right when is it a cicada year? Yeah.
No,
Because every year is a fucking cicada year.
This literally says this on Wikipedia that there is a hypothetically could be up to 30 broods that have not yet been observed. But brood 10 is the big one. Yeah, this is hilarious. So they're all between 17 and 13 years. So the last emergence, I'm gonna go down. How many broods are there? 10. There's 23 broods listed here. Go Michael Jordan. So I'll read you starting with brood number 1. I will read the last emergence. So brood number 1, 2012. 2, 2013. 3, 2014.
You can just
4,
stop there.
2015. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then 1954. 2007, 2008, 2011, 1870, 2014, 2015. So apparently 2014 and 15 was a bad year for cicadas because we had broods 3, 4, and 22 and 23.
So cicada emergence has now been deemed completely overrated and useless. As if it wasn't anyway, because it's just like, oh, look, bugs.
Every year from 2011 to 2021 had a brood of.
Yeah, I think I heard 9. I didn't hear a 9 or a 10, but I'm not looking at the sheet. You don't even need to fact check that. But
yeah,
fuck cicadas.
Yeah, we've been on a lull. We have no cicadas in 22, 23. The next cicada emergence is next year in 2024. That's brood 13, in case you're keeping score at home.
We'll have to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jones, we're coming for the cicadas.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Bring the mushrooms.
Imagine that. Like, obviously, I'd never looked that up before, but like people make such a big deal out of the cicadas. They're like, oh, it's a cicada year. It's literally every fucking year for like 12 years straight.
It's actually more rare that it's not a cicada.
And then you get a 2-year break, and then you get another 12 years straight. I fucking hate everybody and everything. Hate all things and most stuff. Christ, what else do we have that's going on? Oh, speaking of suing, I think this is actually hilarious. So, especially because it's come up a lot more recently on the show. Moloch the owl at
the owl deity?
Yeah, at Bohemian Grove.
Yeah,
which is like the whole big thing. Again, you can Google it. I'm not going to spend the amount of time it would. I would need an entire podcast episode to explain Bohemian Grove. Just Google it and find out for yourselves if you're out there watching or listening. So the employees at Bohemian Grove are suing the ownership, which I believe it's a member-owned club. So the employees are suing the owners because they said that they are treated unfairly and they want like better wages and things like that. So apparently part of the case is they don't get paid overtime. So they have one standard rate regardless of how many hours they work. So say, you make $15 an hour. If you work 13 hours in a day, you make $15 for those 13 hours. If you work 60 hours in a week, you get $15 for those 60 hours. So whether it's the extended the day portion or it's like the cumulative for the week, they don't get any overtime. And also there are claims of being treated poorly by guests. And one example that I can remember off the top of my head, because I heard this from Crystal and Sagar the other day, was there was one patron who forced a worker to take off his socks, wash them, and then give them to the patron to wear because this rich motherfucker forgot his socks. So he forgot to bring socks to Bohemian Grove and looked at one of the workers and was like, "You, boy, take off your socks, go wash them, and then give them to me so I can wear them." Like, if that's not ridiculously fucked up, like, I don't know. That there were a couple other stories that I can't really remember off the top of my head, but there was a couple fucked up stories and fucked up situations, and now they're suing the ownership because of it. And Sagar one of them made a really good point and was like, "Hey, if you're gonna run a place like Bohemian Grove that does a lot of really sketchy things, you
Probably
should
don't want to piss off the
probably
work.
yeah, you should probably treat the employees pretty fucking well. Those should be the people that get paid the $20 minimum wage and like all that shit and the overtime and all that stuff, because the shit that they see could fucking ruin
Put a lot of people in jail.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
And
not
now,
jail,
yeah, maybe not jail, but maybe what is it? Social jail.
social jail.
Yeah. And now they're fucking
Perception
pissed.
jail.
So they treated the fucking employees like shit, and now the employees are pissed. And they're gonna start releasing all these stories. Like, I don't think they released the names. I don't think they've released the names of the people. But they're telling the stories of
I'll
like
tell you
what
right now,
happens.
a fucking news outlet will pay more for those fucking
Yeah.
that list of names than they will for fucking, getting paid overtime.
Yeah, I know. Well, it'd have to be like a smaller news outlet, because I wouldn't be surprised if some of the higher ups at like the big media conglomerates were actually partaking at those places, right?
True.
Like the fucking, who's the guy that owns Fox? That's a scumbag. I don't know. He probably hangs out there. Like the fucking old owner of CNN or MSNBC. Like those people probably hang out there, right? So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when I saw that the workers of Bohemian Grove were suing the place. So good for them. All right, you got anything else? You want to start wrapping this up?
We can wrap this up.
All right, what you got?
So I was playing at Sharon, Thursday, maybe Thursday. Fifth hole, got like 135 from the rough, which is a really, really shitty tee shot. So whatever. Hit it pretty good, going at the pin. I see it bounce. Hear it hit the stick. Don't see the ball anymore. Hold up for eagle on the fifth hole, which is my third eagle in about 6 weeks. 2 months. Third eagle, 2 months after 10 years of no eagles.
When it rains, it pours, right?
Something like that. I guess. So that was pretty funny. And then so the other thing too is like, if I had hit the ball any closer in the fairway, I wouldn't have been able to see it go in or not. Like I may have heard it hit the stick.
Yeah.
But because I hit it so shitty off the tee, I actually could see everything. So I saw it hit the stick, or I heard it hit the stick, saw it disappear. I'm like, oh, that's got to be in. And then I look around, and there is nobody anywhere around. I was playing by myself. There is no one around. No one anywhere, nowhere. It was a very, very weird feeling. And I'm because I hit it. I'm like, oh, that's fucking sick. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, there's
There's no
nobody.
one. No
Like
one can
no one,
appreciate
and no
this.
one's fucking anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
um. So yeah, third eagle now in two
Nice.
months.
Nice.
You're never having one. And I've done it on a 135 yards, an 18-foot putt, and a 58-yard pitch.
So only one putt.
Only one time putting.
There were no did you birdie any of the par fives today?
Oh God, no! I didn't birdie shit today.
Yeah,
Par fives, I did. Par fives, I did not play well.
those par fives were really fucking hard.
They're long.
Well, one of the one that was short, like that was it. I forget what it was.
18 was a layup off the tee.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, I was in like position A. I had like, I want to say it was like 235 pin, but I had like a downhill lie. So like the lie wasn't good. So I did the best I could with it, but I was
Yeah.
never going to get that ball in the air and far enough to get it there. And then the other par fives, I felt like they were all fucking, oh,
Yeah,
there was the
18 was
one.
the short one, but that was the four. It was before
So
split.
you're talking about our back nine. So I think it's the eighth hole. Was it eight?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a short. That was 470 from the
Yeah,
woods.
but the thing there is
That's the
if
one
you
I made the fantastic tee shot and then fucking tripled.
yeah, and it's
I made
like
it
when I did my strategery, it's a layup off the tee because for
or seven.
me,
I made a seven.
if I turn it left to right, yes, I get way down there. But if I hit a straight ball, it's dead.
Right. Right.
So it's yeah, the par fives at Blackstone definitely not like gettable. They're either too fucking long or they force some weird tee shots. Which
Yeah.
I don't know how people feel about that, but
Yeah. I mean, overall though, it was a really nice course.
I
Like
thought it was solid.
they had some really cool holes. Like, I don't know. I would definitely play there again. I mean, I know you want to play there one more time again.
Yeah, I want to play at least one more time. So
I
I
would
want to play
gladly play again. Play
at
again.
least one more time on the weekend. And then I will get a practice round where I only have to pay like a cart fee
Yeah.
to play. But I feel like I'm going to have to go like Monday through Thursday. So it's like I may have to shoot over there.
Yeah.
Like if my group finishes at 11:45 one day, like I may have to just kill the rest of the afternoon and like drive over, play, drive home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I also don't know. Like, there's a couple shots I want to hit again.
Yeah. I think
I also don't know how much more I'm gonna learn about the place from playing it. Because I like even my people are gonna think I'm fucking crazy. Like, but this is how I need to play because if I'm gonna do a qualifier at these places, like people are gonna think I'm nuts because I have notes and I fucking have strategy and I go on Google Earth and
well, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, right? To prepare.
yeah, well you either need to play the place and take notes or you need to do it somehow.
Yeah.
And I have found two things. One, I fucking hate playing like shit because I didn't have strategy at a place. I've also found that I don't enjoy certain rounds of golf because I had bad strategy. Like I thought the Bay Club was the dumbest course ever, and then I like changed my strategy, and then I like respect the fuck out of it now.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of stupid that you may think a golf course is really dumb, but it's just because you don't know how to play it, or you tried to force things that shouldn't have been for whatever.
Yeah. You're playing strategy didn't fit the course.
Yeah, or yeah, you're just trying to do what you want to do and not whatever.
Yeah.
Now trust me, there's places where the strategy can be on point and I can still think it's dumb.
Yeah.
You know, Cape Club of Sharon. Um, But yeah, I think in my notes, the only thing that I was like questioning was our third hole, the 12th hole. That was where we all kind of went down the left, like the downhill hole.
Yep.
And like we didn't actually find my ball, which I have no fucking clue where it is.
Oh,
I think
right.
I think that's the one.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I would.
obviously, hey, obviously we lost my ball, but like
Yeah.
I didn't hit it that bad off the tee, and we don't really know where it went. So that's that's a hole I need another crack at.
Yeah, that's the same one. So I went on 18 birdies last night and like mapped, not like mapped, but like looked at the hole and was like, or each hole and was like, oh, I'd probably just hit driver or that. And this was one hole where I was like, oh, I'd probably just hit 6 iron off the tee because the fairway's pretty wide, like where it would land. And what do I do when I step up to the fucking tee? Is like, fuck it. I'll hit a 3 iron. Um, which went about as good as you would expect it to go. But like I think now having played it, um, I would like to go back and give it another crack, right? Because the other thing too is on a map, right? Like on the phone when you're looking at everything, being like, what would I hit here? You don't see the elevation change.
Yeah, and
You
that's
just see the distance.
I think that's what really got me on that hole because I think I think everything else I did was fine. Some execution, I had a lot of execution errors. That's for damn sure. But I think strategically, I don't think I hit a club that I shouldn't have hit, or hit a club and then gone. You know what? When we played one, it was our 10th. I got concerned with the 5 wood being too much club, and I had plenty of room. So I hit the hybrid. I still only had a wedge in.
Yeah,
But I had way more room to hit that 5 wood, which I probably would next time, which is what my strategy said.
yeah,
But then I kind of got a little unnerved because I saw a little bit of downhill, and I saw some shots where I didn't need, like, the ball was going way further than I thought it was, or that I thought it should. So I did pull back on that, and that's it.
yeah. I would like to redo the second hole. That was tough. That's the one I tripled. I made an 8 on the par 5. We all were
Down the right.
down the right,
Yep.
and I had to hit like a low punch under a tree, and I clipped the tree. So then I was so far out, I just hit hybrid, and I hit a fucking
Off the car path.
a low screaming hybrid all the way down across the cart path. So then I was in the shit. I literally had to just like chip out of the shit onto like the base of the massive hill. And then I hit like a wicked high fucking flop shot from the bottom of the hill, and it rolled off the front of the green.
Best part too is like I could see you, but Justin couldn't. And then
Yeah.
like I may have said like heads up to him or something, and he was like still just kind of like wandering around. So then you hit your ball. I go, dude, that's at you. And he's like, where? And he like covers his head,
Yeah.
and it's like he goes, yeah, that was fucking right at me.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, and I couldn't see anything. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna
Well, as
fucking
you shouldn't. I mean, if you're hitting onto the green, like someone shouldn't be in your way.
right.
But he couldn't see you either. Like
Yeah.
I could see him, or I could see you because I was back a little bit.
Right. Right. So yeah, a couple things I would like to redo. Um, I would also like to be able to take full swings, or like not full, like full strength swings would be nice. Um, I still have to keep the governor on for now, so I don't fucking break my back again. Um, but in time, it'll come back. That stupid fucking draw, though, from not being able to swing as hard. Just something, it like fucked me up right off the tee,
Well,
which
if you're gonna have a two-way miss,
which I think, I mean, off the tee today, I only lost 2 strokes.
to your own skill level,
Yes. Approaching the green, I lost 10 strokes. Around the green, I lost 2, and then putting, I gained, we'll call it 7. So,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a nice course. Like I said, I would enjoy playing that again. There's a lot of
Yeah.
really nice courses out in that area too.
Yeah. High Fields is supposed to be good.
Mhm. I know
That's
it's
in,
private, but I've played it in a tournament before. It's Pleasant Valley.
yeah, Pleasant
That's
Valley. Yeah. So for the privates, Pleasant Valley, Worcester, and Whitensville
mhm.
are all supposed to be awesome. For publics, Wachusett, Kettlebrook, Highfields, Blackstone.
Shining Rock is out that way. It's a little bit closer, but
Isn't Shining Rock more Route 2 belt?
no, it's further.
Or am I
It's
making that up
it's
completely?
Northbridge.
Oh, yeah, that is out there then.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
little bit. It's a little
Shaker
bit
Hill,
closer.
Shaker Hills is Route
Shaker
2.
Hill is Route 2. That's a beautiful fucking course. Me and Vinny played that last year. I think me and
Oh,
Vinny played Shining Rock too. Technically, Shining Rock is my home course.
technically,
that's where I'm tied to for my my handicap.
your handicap, technically.
Technically, I haven't played there once this year.
Yeah, it's just like it's such a thing for me to fucking get out that way.
Yeah, yeah,
So far.
yeah. That's the thing, right? Like it's super fucking easy for me. It's literally like a half hour.
Yeah.
But for you,
So
there's no direct route.
and it should be like on the
Like
fucking
if you drew a
the
straight
parallel
line,
line.
you're probably like 17 miles away.
It's just no. I don't know how the fuck there is no direct route.
Yeah.
It's because it's Sutton, isn't it? Because it's not Worcester.
Yeah.
Because if it was Worcester, I would take a more direct route, wouldn't I?
Yeah. You would just take the Pike to 290 or, however you want to get the 495 to 290, however you'd
Yeah,
want to get
okay.
there. But for you,
So I took the Pike there by accident.
Northbridge should be a little bit easier for you because you can take 495.
Well, Grafton should be a little easier too because it's closer.
Grafton is closer to Worcester.
I had to drive. It's because I went the wrong way. I was gonna say I drove by Grafton on my way to Sutton.
Oh, yeah. Just because you went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Northbridge is like right. It's
I
borders
drove by Northbridge on the way home.
Milford. Yeah. Yeah.
Uxbridge, Blissful
Uxbridge is right
Meadows.
there. Yeah.
Well, Blissful Meadows, I think it's like a cool course, but I don't think it's very fun. I think it's really hard off the tee.
Yeah. Yeah, Sid, there's a lot of really cool courses out over there. I mean, New England Country Club is right there. That's super easy for me. New England Country Club is like 15 minutes from my house. Maybe 20.
Oh yeah, Bellingham. We've played there a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
by
we
a
go to
bunch, I
the
mean at least twice.
yeah, then we went to the barbecue place afterwards.
Yep.
Maplegate is good too. Maplegate is literally off the highway. You take, I think it's, well, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be exit 18 on 495. And then you take a right off the highway, take your second right, and you're at Maplegate. Like one of the holes on Maplegate runs along 495.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll be 1,000% honest. I don't mind heading out that way. I'm definitely not going to be making a habit of playing in the Worcester area.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call that the Worcester area.
Well, no, so Bellingham isn't, but Sutton is.
Oh,
Isn't,
yeah.
isn't Sutton just south of Worcester?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
I
Millbury, Auburn.
consider Sutton, Grafton, Worcester. Is Wachusett itself an actual town? I don't know if that's what it is.
Wachusett is more like Route 2.
Is it?
Yeah, that's like Ayer,
Oh,
like
I didn't realize it was
Leominster.
over there. I thought it was like not in Worcester, obviously, but I thought it was quite Close.
It's in Princeton. So it's like it's right next to Leominster and like Fitchburg. It's
Ugh,
north. It's north of Worcester.
ew.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not going there.
yeah.
I just don't care enough.
There's another one though. There's two. There's Wachusett, and then there's something else that's in Massachusetts. I forget what it is. They're both super small. Neshoba.
Oh, that's the ski bump.
Yeah, Neshoba is in
That's Route 2. That's like
yeah,
Acton,
that's like
not
yeah,
Acton, not
like Chelmsford.
Concord,
Yeah,
Acton,
like that
out that
area.
way.
It's like the top of the 495 belt. Westford, that's where it is. Littleton, Westford, like that area.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right. What the fuck is my final thought gonna be? Oh, this is a good one. um Bet Online came out the other day and announced that they are going to allow people to bet on the Special Olympics. So it is not satire. It is not a joke. A lot of people thought they were being facetious or like trying to be funny, but it is not. It is true. It is 100% accurate. Bet Online is going to allow you to start betting on the Special Olympics. Now, obviously, mybookie.com sponsors this show, right? So you can use the promo code Sarcasm Pod when you sign up to double your first deposit over there. I have not heard anything from MyBookie on whether or not they are going to allow betting on the Special Olympics. I am 90% certain that domestic books are probably not going to allow it.
No, no way.
So, I mean, I've seen mixed reviews come in on that. I've seen some people say that's fucked up, whatever. I've seen they've kind of defended it. Bet Online has defended it, being like, we're just trying to promote equality, right? Like these people are athletes. If we're gonna bet on sports, like we should be able to bet on all sports and all athletes and things like that. And it's like, you know what, man? Like, good for you for crafting that argument because that's
Yeah,
really fucking smart.
that's all you're just throwing it back in their faces.
Right, right.
Hey,
Um,
these people are athletes too.
yeah, yeah. So
We should be able to wager on them accordingly.
yeah, I'm not. I think I do have an old Bet Online account. I'm probably not going to go on, but I would be interested to see what some of the lines are because, and I mean this not in a way the way it's going to sound, but I feel like handicapping these things is going to be like a whole like pretty fucking easy, right? Like I feel like you're going to be able to figure out who is going to be like significantly better than the other. I'm not familiar with the Special Olympics. I don't know how they do their divisions. Right? Like I don't know if it's based on the degree um of disability or if it's just gender and age or because I feel like there'd be a lot of ways to find some angles there. And if you want to spend the time, I feel like you could probably make some pretty decent money betting on the Special Olympics, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I just don't know where you find out the correct info. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like past results, maybe. I don't know. Like
yeah, like if there's like an autistic archer, like how are you supposed to
yeah.
grade their performance?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, is there a Special Olympic trials?
I don't think so. I think that defeats the purpose of the Special Olympics. I think they're trying to be all inclusive.
Is there like a special Paralympics?
I mean, there is a Paralympics. right? Like people that are missing limbs or,
Oh
whatever.
shit, I'm thinking of something different then.
No, this is like Special
Okay, so
Olympics.
Paralympics are the ones who, yeah, they're like missing limbs and shit.
Yeah.
What is it, the
Special Olympics is the ringer. They made a movie out of it with Johnny Knoxville.
No, there's like there's it's something. Then it's not it's not the something or other Olympics. It's the something games, which is like just like North America or just the Americas or something.
Oh.
Pan Am? Is that the Pan Am games?
We had those in weightlifting. We had Pan Ams.
Was it just Americas?
Yeah,
Is there a special Pan Am games?
there could be.
Is there a special World Cup of whatever? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you pull the data to get like an edge.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I feel like I said, if someone out there wanted to spend the time to do it,
You could do it.
probably you could probably make some decent money off of it. So I don't know. It's out there. You can bet on the Special Olympics. Well, that is going to do it for us. So thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button right above, like the little fucking sticker behind me on that box, like the finger pointing up. As you can see, like I mentioned in the last episode, there's more boxes. It's just like every episode we do, there's just going to be more shit piling up behind me until I eventually get kicked out of my office and have to go in the living room because we have to start putting this shit together. But click subscribe above on YouTube. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can subscribe also on the audio versions. If you're a Spotify or an Apple guy, go leave a review, right? Rate and review us over there. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website is sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. We already talked about MyBookie, but you can go to moonbrew.com and use the promo code Jared16159 to get 10% off your entire order over there. Once again, I was drinking it earlier here when we started recording. Great sleep tea, helps you relax and get ready for bed. And actually sleep better, right? It doesn't just make you tired. It actually helps you get better sleep. And then also, lastly, we have grillyourassoff.com. So you go to grillyourassoff.com, use the promo code SarcasmPod, and you get 10% off your order every single time you check out over there. And I think that's it. So until next time, good night, everybody.